episode 6 of The Relentless Voice, hosted by Bruce C. Carter. And remember, I'm not here to influence you, entertain you, but I am here to empower you. Today is going to be something that's real. For those who've been in it, they understand the struggle. They might agree with me, and then there'll be some that don't like it because it's the truth. And I found out people don't really care for the truth. So here we are. This episode is about the greatest threat to blacks in America. And I promise y'all it's not the man. You know, I've spoken about the greatest historical downfalls of blacks. I talked about slavery, I talked about political slavery, I talked about the crack epidemic. And now we're not in physical slavery, so we got past that. There are some remnants and some effects. Crack cocaine is not the drug of choice now. We have pills and marijuana and fentanyl and all the stuff that comes along with it. The political slavery is still alive and kicking. And so there was a song that was played 40, 50, 60 years ago. And that song was a song that I still listen to. I always say a change is gonna come. And, you know, I don't own the songs or the right to the song, but you know, it's a song that just makes sense when you listen to it. And when you hear it, you would understand that they would just say that over and over, right? They would just say it over and over. Then you would get into the song. And I'm not a DJ, y'all, but I like to understand the power of music. And it would just play and play and play and play and play and play and play. And then as it played, they would talk to you. Then the song just kept saying a change is gonna come. Unfortunately, the change ain't came yet. The communities, Memphis, they're still as poor as they were when Dr. King was out there fighting for it. Philadelphia, same level of poverty, same level of crime. So I couldn't understand it. So in these last 9 years, as I traveled these cities to understand, I kept saying the same thing. This great threat to blacks. And I tried to figure out how we got there. And finally, I got it figured out. The greatest threat to blacks in America are blacks in America. We hate each other, and it leads us not to trust each other. We don't want to support each other. We will come against each other at the smallest thing. And then we do the one thing that we are professionals at. We blame everybody except ourselves for the situation. I'm from Dallas, where I've maintained my office for about 15 years now. The 75216 zip code has had the highest level of AIDS at one time, the highest level of the number of people incarcerated in the state of Texas at one time, has been under the rule of blacks forever. So someone has to say that I can't go and depend on you because of the color of your skin. I need to see what's in your heart. I need to look at your body of work. And I need to see what qualifies you to address some of the issues that have been here since the 60s. That's what we got to do. You know, I talk about this truth of many of our young people. They're going to either be an athlete or they're going to be an entertainer. And when that fails, normally they turn to illegal activities. It used to be the hustle of the game in the streets, but it's different. So they get incarcerated. then it just becomes a cycle. The recidivism rate is up and down, but the people are not better. So that means as a race of people, because unfortunately in America, race is gonna always be real. So now we gotta figure out how we actually get to that next level. Hold on, cut, stop. That next level. So when I talk about getting to that next level, it's like we can't be okay with the senseless violence that runs rampant in black communities. Our young black males are like cutting each other down. And I'm always astonished when so-called black leaders and people who have a voice tell me white people kill each other too. That is the stupidest, in my opinion, response in the world. But that's what people are when they don't want to put the work in. And I've had from different organizations that's supposed to be about black people make those responses. So, and remember, I've always say this podcast is not for everybody. But for those that care, who really, really care, yeah, it's for you. If you're a clown and you want to be out here to show something, you're doing it for the wrong motives, man, you probably don't like me. And I'm okay with that. I probably won't like you neither. But if you're not serious about young people dying at an alarming rate, then you got other young people going to prison. Many of them already have children. Then something's wrong with you. But you're part of that greatest threat. So one, we got to get this violence under control. Then we have to come in and really deal with, we call it generational curses and, hopelessness. But there is so much environmental trauma that has taken place for centuries. We can go back to slavery. It's the trauma that came along with it. The Black Wall Street, it's the trauma that came along with it. All these things have affected generations after generations. So when you want to make something better, do something about the thing that caused the issue. Like reimagine it, rewrite it, make it good now. That's the thing that I would love to see black communities work to do. And once again, it can happen. It really can. So we need to really examine the stats on violence. We need to see what's real, what's not real. We need to dig deeper to see how do we empower communities financially so we think different, so we spend our money different, so we invest our money, so we build different, so we hold people accountable in our communities, so we don't let you do illegal activities over here because you know not to do them over here. All the things about the snitches and get stitches and all that foolishness, I always say, if you ain't a part of it, you're a witness. If you're a part of it, yeah, you could be considered a snitch. But the economic impact that's taking place in this country is negative for those in black communities. And you might think because you go into certain cities and areas and neighborhoods that's predominantly black, you have the nice houses, you have nice cars, you have all this stuff going on. But I'm willing to venture that if you go 10 miles one way or the other way, you'll see travesty. You'll see blight. You'll see extreme poverty. You'll see restaurants that you probably shouldn't be eating in because the service is so bad, because nobody has held everybody to a higher level. That's the problem that we have across the country right now. And we don't have enough leaders that care. We don't have enough pastors that care. We don't have enough coaches that care. Because all we're looking for is what we're looking for. We're not trying to build a legacy on having people come say what our legacy is. So for me, the greatest legacy is somebody says, oh man, Mr. Bruce did this in my life. Oh yeah, that guy, man, he stood up for me. Oh yeah, he opened that door for me. But we're telling our stories. We're telling our stories because a lot of us looking for likes, shares, and follows. instead of empowering people. My voice, as long as it will come out, it'll always be about how we get better. In this case, it's about blacks, but how do we get better as a body of Christians? How do we get better as a nation of people? Because that's what we should be looking at. But I took this group on because this group I interact with more than any other group, and my children interact with this group more than and my grandchildren. So I want to try to have a profound impact on this group, because that's going to get us to a higher level. So we talked about some of the things that has gotten us to this point, but there is a way out. We got to start building. You don't own nothing. You don't even own the barbershops anymore. You don't even own the restaurants. So we got to focus on ownership. We got to get our black males to become men, stop abandoning their children. We got to stop electing people to power because of their race. We need to do it based on their ability. Sisters, you got to stand up. You got to stop being a pacifying woman that just go for stuff. I've said it once before, get you a machine and a bear and learn how to love it. The black church has to be called out or closed down. We have to get rid of hopelessness so people can stand up and know that they're valuable. We do that through teaching self-efficacy and the value of a life. We got to kill that poverty mindset that says, I'm going to be okay no matter what the conditions are. We got to make sure that that entitlement mindset is wiped out, that somebody owes you something, which is not true. You owe yourself. We got to make sure that broken men either conform and come together and be strong, or you got to let them sit on the sideline. The lack of discipline that we have, we got to become more disciplined. We got to stand on business. We got to know that we have a role to play in this progress for the greater good. The slave mindset, you got to shake that thing off. You got to change it up. You got to replace it. Then the ineffective black-led organizations, and I don't care whether it's a fraternity, sorority, whether it's a group, whatever it is, y'all got to let them know they ain't right. You got to call them out, because when that founder founded it, it had a purpose. And then the last one, man, it's that crab in the bucket mentality. There's so many ways to say it. I can remember Teresa Witherspoon at the Hall of Fame talked about 3 frogs and how they were trying to hop out. And the people at the top, the haters, kept discouraging them. And over time, 2 of the frogs actually died. The 3rd one ended up getting out, she said, because it was deaf. It couldn't hear the haters. It couldn't hear the people pressing them down. We got to put us on some earmuffs. We got to get laser focused. And we have to climb from the bottom, because that's where blacks are. You're at the bottom. Immigrants have more say-so than you. So you got to get in the game. And if you do, it don't take forever. And for some of these blacks who've had some success, you got to be a part of the change. You know, many of y'all run and do work in Africa. You got people right here in your backyard that really need an opportunity. At the end of the day, beyond the color of your skin, there's a group of people, because of the color of their skin, that has been dealt some bad hands that they've had to play. Some have squandered the good hands. But as a collective, they will all affect you if you black in America. Because eventually they're going to come across somebody that you love, if it's not you. So I want you to consider, when you see someone trying to empower a group of people, I want you to consider their body of work. I want you to see, have they been about this life that they're talking about? And if they are, get with them. But more importantly, have 2 or 3 people in your life that you can look back on, that you know you poured everything you could into them. If you do that and you have some substance, then I believe we will see a different place in America for this group, for this demographic, because I do believe that if we can teach enough of them self-efficacy, consequences, conflict resolution, ownership, entrepreneurship, servanthood, agriculture, how to grow, how to build, transferable skills. So they learn it, they can transfer it in their own lives or to someone else. And the most important is faith, to believe. I think we're missing that. But if we can do that, then we're going to come back and we're going to develop, we're going to produce stronger families, vibrant communities, safer neighborhoods, healthy minds, healthy minds, healthy minds, healthy minds. And we're going to do something that people don't talk about. Generations of prosperity. We get a chance to grow up a group of young people with good minds, with open hearts, with faith in humanity, faith in God, that allows them to stand on business at an early age. That's what we got to do. And everything won't be about black people. But today it's about black people in America. So remember, you can share this so someone can be empowered. You can drop a question or two. Or you can even say that guy has no idea what he's talking about. Or you can say, I met him or he helped me. Either way, become a part of the change. Let's make America better by allowing black people just to get another step up as a whole. Not everyone wants to go, but there are some that want to go, just don't know how to go. Let's make sure we reach them. I will talk to you soon in the next episode of the Relentless Voice.